he became a basic cross between Errol Flynn and Dorothy Parker. In other words, he's physically able to get out of it, but he prefers the vocal work. He can put anybody in their place, and he'd much rather do that to use a subtle thing. And so that's what he'd love to do. You know, the old duck season, rabbit season, then folks would say rabbit season, we say duck season, shooting. But another thing about that, you're going to use that kind of a gag. Always looks, just glances at the audience, to let him know what he's going to do. He's going to do something. Just doing it without that is like, it's like a martini without the twist. That little thing, just glancing at the audience. He doesn't cringe. He glances at the audience. The audience says, "Yeah," whatever he thinks. We're to get this together, right? So those little glances, I've always felt people comment on my use of the eye flicks and stuff like that, but it's vital. It's necessary for him. So that Bugs has all this going for him. This witty intellect, plus this amazing ability to get himself out physically. And he doesn't fly. He can't fly. But if he starts whirling his ears around and he become a propeller, he can use it that way. But he doesn't use it all the time. So the characters develop slowly. Daffy, Corky started out as a crummy little Boy Scout type character. But when I got into things like Robin Hood, Daffy, and Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century, he became an observer. And he really knew what was going on. And he would share with the audience. And at the end, my wife contends that Duck Dodgers is one of the best anti-war films we've ever made, because at the end, everything is destroyed, and he's standing on that little hunk of dirt, which is all that remains of Planet X. And he says, "I claim this in the name of Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century." And you come down, there's some roots hanging down, and Corky's and the Martian are hanging up to them. And Corky says, "A big deal." Woody Allen used that little pump in this picture, Love and Punishment. It was, you remember the father that had this little pump, this little piece of dirt that he worshipped, he always carried it around. It was only about this big. At the end of the picture, he had a house on it. Yes.
I always thought it was kind of odd and interesting that there were characters now and then that seem to be patterned after the characters in Of Mice and Men. Yeah, and I always thought that was kind of interesting because it's such a tragic story, but it makes such funny basis for characters.
Well, I saw that. Let's see, who was playing that film? Well, it wasn't Lon Chaney Jr. He played it on the screen, I believe. Anyway, I saw it on the stage, and this Lenny, this wonderful thing of Lenny saying, "And if a circus come to town, we will go to her." George said, "Yeah, we'll go to her. What do you got behind your back?" "It's only a little louse, George. I will pet it and love it." And when I did use that on the snowman, he grabbed Bugsy and he says, "My own little bunny rabbit. I will hold him and pet him and call him George." "You are a naughty rabbit, bad man." So, yes, of course. But you see, that was not imitating character, it was imitating character as played by an actor. Right. So, aside from Foghorn Leghorn, we almost never took a character as Hanna-Barbera and all the rest of them do. Because after all, you take the Honeymooners and what have you. The Honeymooners the Flintstones is the Honeymooners set in the Stone Age. They even stole some of the scripts which they were able to get out of them. So I don't think that's not creativity. I'm not creative either, but at least I understand. Yeah, you're right. And Tex Avery used it a lot. That big dumb voice. It's a lovely voice, really. But let me tell you about Porky, because when Porky first started out, there was a picture called "I Haven't Got a Hat," which Chris Riddick directed. And in those days, on a Merry Melody, that's why they were called Merry Melodies, you had to plug a Warner tune. You had to do 200 feet of a Warner Brothers, because they owned a lot of publishing houses. music publishing, that was big business before the war. It may still be, for all I know. But so they owned Arms, they owned Woodmark, and Tootsie Brothers. So plugging the thing from the feature pictures was a way of shortcutting. You know. So in this picture, so in order to do that, you'd have to set it, try to write a story around the grocery store, around a bookstore, or something, so you could get the song in. Usually had characters stepping off and started to sing, stepping off the Dutch cleansers or something. In this case, Frizz was a graduation of a grammar school, and Porky was to get up there and recite the Midnight Ride of Paul Revere. And it wasn't just that he stuttered. It was that as the action went on, you see he had to go to the toilet. So he started out, there's a, listen to that children, you shall hear the Midnight Ride, and they begin. The more he lost track of what he was talking about, the worse it got. And so finally he just gave up and ran off. Well, that was the beginning of Porky. He didn't look anything like it because he was just a little boy. And later on, somebody decided that there might be two characters, Porky and Beans, as they call him. That was a cat. Well, that wasn't at all like discovering gold in California. Beans went by the board. But as Porky went on, he also changed sizes. When Clampett animated him until he was as big as I am, and fat, you know, and then Frank Tashlin used him a little bit of it, and so on. But when I finally got a hold of him, in the picture, I think it was when we did the Dragnet kind of a thing. But then suddenly he became a good character. He became Sergeant Fridays, and he understood what was going on. So from that point on, I felt he was a very good character, but we lost the stutter as a stutter. His problem was that he could never get the right word. You know, he said, let's go to New York. Maybe you want to go to New York. He said, let's go to New York. Cincinnati, New York. So that was the way it worked, and that was a rule that we had. If he was going to Planet X, he'd say, well, it's very simple. We have to do it. To get there is to go to Planet Y, Planet X. Whatever. So I say an impediment, an intellectual impediment more than a vocal. I haven't heard anything from them.
I think my sense is from all the books I see that there are a lot of people who would like autographs.
Of course, I can talk an autograph too. I can't shoot them apart.
Sure, I would say that we should probably wrap up soon so that there's time.
I want you to know that you've been very nice days.
Oh, yes.
Well, I told him why you couldn't join us last
Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.
Well, you're discovering your very own boat. Yeah. No peasants to do that.
Loose ends, you think.
It's all girls. There's so many different ways of playing
That's why I'm behind the camera. It's a career. I think all the organizations, you can come up to it and be able to touch your feet and relax.
Yeah, it's very pretty. I wish it was 1991 all the time. It looks nice.
Bill, back and see my
Yeah, why don't I go back and I'll give them